You can't fire Jon Jones. Jon Jones already quit. I'm not ready to let it go. There's something happening right in front of us, and I'm trying to reconcile the pieces that I have. So Jon Jones is the heavyweight champion of the world. And I'm going back a little bit of time, but he's the heavyweight champion of the world. Got a big fight. Tom Aspinall, some crazy amount of money. According to Errol Hawani, the crazy demand was met. Okay. Jon says, you know what? I'm still not going to do it. I'm out of here. Get on with it. I'm done. I retire. 8 days later says, you know what? I changed my mind. Bring me back. But he leaves it at that. He doesn't say, bring me back and put me against Tom. He doesn't say, bring me back and I'm going to 205. He doesn't say, bring me back and I want this guy. I've got a personal problem with him. He doesn't say anything. He just says, bring me back. So allegedly they did. Allegedly, but they never ranked him. So then you have the talk of something known as the White House card. Jon wants on that. Well, he gets a little resistance. Don't know if I can count on Jon. Jon, hey, I apologize for what happened in the past. This is a big deal. You can count on me for this one. And not for nothing, guys. If Jon does tell you yes, you have a yes. It can be very frustrating trying to get him there. But once Jon says yes, in my own personal experience, you can count on that. But we didn't. It's a heck of an offer by Jon. But we didn't take him up on it. And it was pretty wide open. Any way that you want to do this. Including this monster called Alex Pereira that's coming in the division. And fighting just for the sake of fighting. It doesn't have to be a main event. I mean, any way that you want to do this. Sounded like a pretty open offer by Jon, and it wasn't accepted. And then, when it wasn't accepted, all of a sudden we get a story about the need for a hip replacement. We get the story for the need of a hip replacement, and we get the detail, which is that it's so bad and the arthritis is so bad, and the UFC knows all about this. Now, this statement comes 3 days before a football game that Jon surprised us by participating in, and 5 days before training footage of Jon while holding mitts and having a leg pad and accepting punches and receiving kicks from 280-pound Gable Steveson video emerges on the internet. You start to go, what happened here? Like, your injury is your business, but you brought it up. You said this is so bad that I can't wrestle Daniel Cormier. This is so bad I can't even go through a training camp. It's so bad that I fear I won't be able to play with my 3-year-old son. But you can play a flag football game at full pace, and you can accept leg kicks from Gable Steveson. Now again, that's your business. But what's the story? And there was a story being told. And Jon appears to have gotten a hint that they're not going to come back to me. I've done what I can do. I offered myself and I gave an apology and I met them both. And I'll fight anybody and I'll show up. And I won't point the gun at you. And I won't ask you for money. I lay down my weapons and I surrender to you, and they were still not accepting of it. So then you've got an issue of, do I want to walk? Do I want to give the perception that I'm walking on my own? Sharing that you have arthritis and that you need a hip replacement is more than we're owed. That's more than we, the audience, are owed. We're not owed to know what's going on with you medically, but it didn't stop there. There was an important detail offered, which was the UFC knows all about this. What are you trying to tell us? What are you trying to tell us by adding that detail? I think the addition of that detail is, no, the UFC's not holding me up. No, the UFC's not making this decision. The UFC knows. The UFC isn't booking me because I'm hurt, and they know that I'm hurt. It was very interesting, and it just doesn't go in conjunction with holding pads for Gable Steveson and playing in a flag football game. Now, this isn't my business, by the way. And I'm not against Jon. I would like to see the return of Jon. I like the idea, 2 different ideas for Jon. I don't hate the idea of Jon going back home to 205 pounds. But there does appear to be something. And it does appear to be, in many ways, the old joke that George Costanza made, which is, you can't fire me because I quit.